All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our first daily training that we're going to be having here as part of the Manufactured Home Sales Mastery Program. I'm doing this today from my house. I haven't made it to the office yet. We've been working on a whole bunch of things since last night's webinar. And so today is all about talking about your level of belief. Okay. What you believe to be true is true. So if you believe you're going to be struggling, you're going to be struggling. If you believe that you're going to be successful, effective, whatever it may be, well, that's what it is. And it may not be because of the fact that just because you believe it, that's what's going to happen. It's just that that belief propels us to keep moving forward, to do the things that need to get done in order to reach those levels of success, right? And so being able to have that belief matched with our level of action, activity, effort, that is what we should be after. And especially in the manufactured home sales world, that is definitely something that we want to make sure that we are taking advantage of, that we are doing, is matching the belief with the level of effort. And that's why in putting together this program, Manufactured Home Sales Mastery, the $250,000 lifestyle change program that we unveiled yesterday, that we debuted yesterday. I don't know if you guys got to see it, but here is the book on it. $250,000 lifestyle change training program. This is a program that we will take you through a 4-week process to get you on the road to making $250,000 a year in manufactured home sales. But to go from 12 years within the industry of selling, a couple of years as operations manager, right? That's and then 6 years as a general manager. To decide to go from that to where now I'm starting all over again, right? We're getting this going. Myself and Dale, you guys, if you were on the webinar, saw the webinar. If you didn't see the webinar, you can go to any of our social media, whether it's LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and see a recorded version of it on there. But in other words, going back to it, Dale, who is my partner in this, okay, he is also part of this. The belief level that you need to have to be able to launch something new, that you can, there's no more level of uncertainty than starting something new, right? There are different training programs out there. There's different companies that provide training, but ours is manufactured home sales specific. So the belief level that we must have to go at this over the last couple months and finally get to the point where we're debuting it, finally seeing, so quote unquote, the light at the end of the tunnel in the program being developed, all the training videos being edited and ready. We previewed a few of them yesterday during the webinar as well. That all comes from the work that's put behind the scenes. And so how does that apply to you in manufactured home sales world, right? Well, the way that it applies is, if you're truly going to be successful at this business, it takes the work behind the scenes. Okay. And what I mean by that is, how well prepared are you to do the work? It's not just good enough for you to have what they call the gift of gab. You can't just be a person that is a salesy person. I hear it all the time, right? Oh, well, that guy or that girl is going to be great at sales because she likes to talk. Well, it's not just about talking, because if you knew me outside of the office, at home or out in public, I really don't talk all that much. I'm more of an introvert. I keep to myself. It's just when I need to be on, I'm on. Okay. Whether it's these calls, whether it's the webinar last night, whether it's when I was on the sales floor sitting in front of customers, whether it's in front of my sales teams and trying to inspire them, motivate them, share the information that they need, whatever it may be. When I have to be on, I'm on. That's different. But the only way that you're going to be on is by being prepared. The only way that you're going to be able to truly have influence on people is by being prepared. And the only way that you're going to be prepared is by putting in the work, getting the training that you need, doing the training that needs to be done. Being a self-starter, being a person who will sit down and read, whether it's in a book, online, doesn't matter what it is, but constantly consuming knowledge. Now, that could be a double-edged sword right there, right? You don't want to be a person who is just simply consuming, and never taking action. Totally different. There's too many people. I've fallen into that in the past over the years, where I just felt like I was, I needed to listen to this person. I needed to listen to that person. I needed to watch this and I needed to read that. And it was all great material. It is all great material. I mean, so many successful people put out all the information that we need to be successful. But the one thing that they can't do for us, and the one thing we can't get out of just watching videos and reading books and all that, is the effort that needs to be put into taking action, actually applying those things that we're reading, learning, watching, listening to. The action will always beat the education. It's like they say, right? I forget what the quote is, but it's something to the effect of hard work will always beat out talent when talent doesn't work hard. Something to that effect, right? So it doesn't matter how good you are at speaking, doesn't matter how quick-witted you are, sharp tongue, whatever you want, however you want to describe it. If you're not taking action, if you're not moving forward, you are not going to accomplish shit. Excuse my language, but it's the truth. You are always going to be stuck on the sidelines. You're always going to be wondering why it is that you can't ever hit the six-figure mark in this business. Why am I struggling to get to 100,000, 150,000? Well, heck, how are you going to get to 250,000 without putting in the effort? And so if there's anything that I can tell you this morning that I've learned over these last 2 months before officially launching everything last night, is this: it takes a whole lot of work. It takes a whole lot of actual activity to get to the point of where you need to be. And believe me, I know for a fact, I am nowhere near being done. Nowhere near being done right now. There's so much more that has to be done, and it will continue to be so. Okay. So I follow this guy on LinkedIn. His name's Ryan Stewman, and today he had a post just on that, how it all starts with work. Then from work is when you make money. And when you make money, you figure out how to make that money work for you, so that you can continue to work on the things that you specialize in, but you will always work. So if you're one of these persons, you're one of these people who are thinking about down the road, I can't wait. I can't wait till I retire. I can't wait till I get to a certain age and I can retire and I can just stop. Well, unfortunately, what I've seen over the years is those people who finally get to that point, stop, retire, it's like it goes downhill from there. Now, don't get me wrong, some completely enjoy it, right? Some people completely enjoy not doing a thing. But that's when the best way that I can describe it is physically, you start to break down. Well, same thing when you're not working, mentally, you start to break down. So we must always put in the work. So what does that look like in the manufactured home sales industry? Okay. The way that represents itself in manufactured home sales is continuous improvement. It's continuously training, continuously role playing, continuing to learn about the finance, because the finance, you guys know, no matter how long you've been, whether if you've just been in a few weeks, a month or so, maybe you're still intimidated by it. I completely understand. It took me almost a year to get comfortable with the finance in the manufactured home business. But what I'm telling you is being able to learn the different nuances of the finance programs. I've got a book here that it has all the information on all the different banks, 21st, Triad, Cascade. Uh, I forget the names of the other ones right off the top of my head right now, but I've got it, and it's got all their programs, Credit Human, and things of that nature, right? And every program is different. You guys know, right? Well, if you're between this score and this score, it'll be about this. If you're between this score and this score, it could be this. But this bank, we won't count the overtime if it hasn't been in effect for 2 years. But with this bank, you can do it with even 2 months, as long as you get a verification of employment that states that it's going to continue on. Little things like that. And there's some other intricacies in the finance, but it takes learning those things and staying on top of them. But you won't put in the work on that, and you won't commit to continuously learning those things if you don't have the belief. So it all comes back to belief. What is your level of belief? Are you sitting there at your office right now, or at your house, depending on what time you're watching this recording? If you're a manufactured home sales professional, okay, if you're sitting there and you're looking at this as a job, well, you're going to make some money. You are. And there's a great opportunity to make money. But those people that make 250, 300, 400, 500, those are folks that are committed to this as a career. They're committed to this for a higher purpose, which is about truly helping people, right? You understand that at the end of the day, that's what you're here for, is to provide that level of commitment to yourself first, and then to those families as well. So if you've got that belief, you will put in the work. You will commit yourself to the training. And folks, it starts with, first, find out about your company. Okay. What about your company makes your company different than anyone else around you, right? You always have to find out those differentiating factors between you and the dealership next door, or down the road, or across the city, wherever they may be, because I'm sure there's some. Okay. In my last 3 years business, I left in April of this year to start Manufactured Home Sales Mastery. My last 3 years, I sat, my location that I was general manager of was in between 1, 2, 3, 4 other dealerships, all in the same little bend of the highway we were at. So you have to know the differences, because here's the thing. I would always talk about this. You have to put yourself in the mind of the consumer, the client. Okay. Look at your location, but I'm going to use my place that I was at before the last 3 years as general manager. People would drive across 3 different places before they got to mine. That means front lines for 3 different dealerships. That means homes sitting along 3 different dealerships that they are driving past before they get to where I was at. And so they saw all these homes. And then, so what happens? Think about when you drive, maybe you're not, think about when you drive across the stretch of the highway where there's different car dealerships. Well, at some point in time, all the cars just look like cars, right? But at the end of the day, you know that Chevy is different than the BMW, which is different from the Range Rover, which is different from the Mercedes, which is different from the Ferrari, right? So what I'm trying to say here is what makes your company different than those others that are on either side of you or down the road or across the city from where you're at. Excuse me. You have to find that out. What makes your product different than everybody else's? Because to the client, to your clients, house is a house in their eyes until you make them understand. Because I know that it's not. I know that dealership A and dealership B and myself all carry different products. Maybe we carry some of the same ones, but all in all, we should be carrying different product lines. So I know that my product is different than theirs. So how is yours better than theirs? Because that's what you're going to have to get across to your client when they're sitting in front of you. And then finally, how are you different? Those are some of you need to start there. What makes your company different? What makes your product different? And what makes you different? We can help you with all three, but we can definitely help you with what makes you different here at Manufacturer Home Sales Mastery. This $250,000 lifestyle change program, training program, will certainly make you different. It will help you stand out. It will help you become a true housing consultant, a professional housing consultant, because we are committed to see you improve. But it takes putting in the work. It takes making sure that you've got the training in place, that you're committed to the training, and it's daily. So I think that's where we should start right now is, we're going to be doing these calls daily, Monday through Friday, I should say. Right? Monday through Friday, we'll be doing these calls daily at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. And they will be based on the theme of the week. This week's theme is belief. You can go on our social media, like I said, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. You can find us on there. Everything right now is with my name. I'll put it in the chat here so that you guys can get on there and check it out. Everything will be under that right there. Okay. So as a matter of fact, even better, I'll go ahead and get you guys the links right now where you can go and check out what we've got going on. Here is the Instagram. All right. Let me get you the LinkedIn as well. And I apologize for the little delays here, but I want to make sure you guys have access to everything that we've got going on. So here is the LinkedIn. Go on to Facebook here. For those of you that may be watching this recording later, it's your first time running across Manufactured Home Sales Mastery or myself, a little bit of background. I spent the last 12 years in manufactured home sales. And I have I decided to finally take the leap and develop this training program that's manufactured home sales specific. Why would I do that? Why would I decide to take on that challenge? Excuse me. Well, the whole reason is this, and it has to do with my background, where I started, everything of that nature. And I'm not going to get into all of that right now, but I will give you the Reader's Digest version, if you even know what Reader's Digest is. But anyway, so I've always enjoyed helping people. That's just who I am. I know to my sales teams across over the last few years, I'm sure they probably thought that I was pretty much a hard ass, but that's just to get the best out of them, to help them maximize their opportunity. But anyway, at the end of the day, really, I love helping people. And so I got into this business in 2011, 2000, in the 2010, 2011, and started in sales, just like most of you sitting there right now watching this. You housing consultants. I spent 4 years, sorry, 4 years as a housing consultant, two different companies. Spent 6 years in an independent dealership just outside San Antonio, Texas, South San Antonio. And I spent the last 6 years with a corporate dealership. Okay. Independent manufacturer housing consultants, Mount Army, Texas. And in the corporate world is Titan Factory Direct in San Antonio, Texas. So 4 years as a salesperson, 2 years both. I did 2 years as a operations manager, and I did 2 years as a general manager, almost 3 years with the first place I was at. And then I did 3 years as a general manager at the last place, at Titan Factory Direct. So anyways, long story short is I've always loved helping people. And so when I was selling, I tried to help as many people as I can. Not just because that's where we got paid for, but because I enjoyed helping people. So helped as many people as I can. Then move it up into management. And now you've got a team. And so you're able to help more people, right? Because of the team. And it's great. But over the last few years, one of the things that's always bothered me about this business is the negative perception of manufactured homes, mobile homes, right? That they're worth less, they're inferior, they're just pieces of crap. And that's mainly by people that are uninformed, right? Most people nowadays, though, are informed. Most people understand that they're a quality product. However, there's still that negative perception of it. So when clients come in, you go through it. They come in with the attitude. They think that they can just treat you in a certain way because they look at us as inferior. And to me, I believe that that has a lot to do with the product we present. And I'm not talking about the homes. The homes are great. I'm talking about the product, us, the housing consultants that we present to the clients. Because of our lack of belief, because of our lack of training, because of our lack of respect for ourselves, the business, and the client, well, that all has a lot to do with the negative perception of this industry. And so over the last few years, I thought it would be fantastic to put together something where we could train people, train housing consultants all across the country, just like they do in the site built industry. That's where I came from. I spent almost 20 years prior to that in the housing industry, in site built industry, house. I hate that term. And so, think about how a realtor, right, presents themselves and how they think about themselves and what they, and if there's any realtors that watch this, I mean, I'm not trying to disrespect it, but it's the truth. I think they're high and mighty. I'm a realtor. Everybody and their mom's a realtor. Think about new home consultants, how they carry themselves. And then you think about how manufactured home housing consultants carry themselves. It's different. Whether you want to admit it or not, it is. It's different. And I believe that that has everything to do with the fact that the training is lacking. The training, because we hire somebody, I've been guilty of it myself. When I was a general manager, I hire somebody, spent 2 weeks with them. And during those 2 weeks, I'm not spending all day with them anyway. So maybe, if lucky, a couple hours a day, giving them some training, because I've got other stuff I got to get handled as well. I've got other people on the team that need my time. So the housing consultant gets inferior training, gets put on the sales floor. Some places don't even have a training program. Just, can you sell? Can you call? Can you talk to people? We'll figure it out as we go along. Well, because there's that lack of dedication to it, Well, in our mind, we think it's lesser, right? So we carry ourselves different than the realtors and new home, excuse me, consultants. And that's what we're after. We're after revolutionizing the industry and bringing a new level of professionalism where you, the housing consultant, can feel the level of confidence that you should and self-respect that you should for what it is that you do. You transform people's lives. You are providing them a place to eat, sleep, celebrate, live out the next 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years. Memories that you are creating, building generational wealth. You've got to understand that. And that's why I always tell people, you need to respect yourself, you need to respect the business, you need to respect your clients. Those three things must be there. But because we don't get those at the beginning in our training, well, we never establish it. So unless you're a self-starter, and that's one of the things that I always pride myself on is I go above and beyond. I will do what I need to do to learn. I've done it again in starting this new business. I've learned things that I had no clue about, websites, how to build websites, how to set up webinars, all these different things that go into how the processes work. Oh my gosh, it is information overload. And I've not only learned it, I've done it because that's just who I am. And so to you housing consultants out there and retailers, if you're watching this, listening to this, I understand. I've been in your shoes. The time is lacking, so nobody's blaming you either. But that's why we exist. That's why we are here, to partner with you, the housing consultant, the retailer, the manufacturer home community, to bring the training to the housing consultants that they need to have to be able to step up their game, have a little more pride in themselves, and be able to build the value in you, your company, your product. That's what we're all about. And it starts with belief. And by doing that, we will build the belief up within the housing consultant, which then when you have one housing consultant that believes, then it's easier to have a second. And as you've got two, now it's infectious and it grows within the office. And so now that everybody's stepping up their game, everybody is raising their standards, everyone is raising their level of execution. So the investment is something that just is well worth it. So I'm going to leave you with that today. Belief. We're going to be talking about that in different segments throughout this week as part of the Manufacturer Home Sales Mastery Program, $250,000 lifestyle change training program, manual, 4 weeks specific, and then we just tackle it the rest of the year. This is a year-long program that you belong to. And we're offering it for the first 30 people that get signed up since the webinar. Okay. You're getting it. This is going to be normally $1,000 a month. And think about it. This program is set up to have you add another 2 to 3 deals per month that you deliver. So like I was talking about yesterday in the webinar, even if you have a flat commission of $2,000 a house that you average, that's an extra $4,000 to $6,000 that you are going to be earning on a $499 investment. It's well worth it. We are here to help you. And I'm excited about it, man. I really am. So I look forward to meeting all of you folks. Reach out to us. You can go send an email. I'll put the email here in the chat as well. There. That's where you can email us so that we can set up a call, go over all the information, tell you everything that you get with this. And I will put the link to the website that has all the info as well. One more time, right there. So that's our first training class for Manufactured Home Sales Mastery. We'll be here every morning at 10 a.m., 30 minutes, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. This week, we're going to leave it open to whomever wants to come on in. After this week, it will be a private training class for anybody that's part of the community, the Manufactured Home Sales Mastery community. Okay. Exclusive training. We'll discuss roadblocks. We'll have everybody in here sharing ideas, sharing thoughts, and keeping ourselves on track with our goals. You guys make it a great week. My name is Cesar Mascota Jr. I have developed Manufactured Home Sales Mastery, the $250,000 lifestyle change program. And I'm here to help you make the most out of your opportunity within the Manufactured Home Sales Mastery or Manufactured Home Sales industry. You guys have a great day. Have a great week. And I can't wait to meet you.